Hello everyone, my name's Sue Elson. Today I'd like to show you how to help you be found in Google search results, and we're going to go through this spreadsheet and all of these little tabs. But first of all, let me show you how this ultimately works. So first of all, if you Google my name, you can see I have my Google author profile here on the right. And if we scroll down, you can see my Google My Business profile, now also called your Google Maps profile. And you can see that every link on the first page of Google search results is something that I've created. My LinkedIn profile, my Facebook, Instagram, there's photos that have been found of me, my profile on the Career Development Association of Australia website, my first website, Newcomers Network. I'm on ResearchGate, Muckrack, my Google free website, Australian Society of Authors profile, etc., etc., etc. But for many people, if you Google their name, this type of information doesn't come up. And I am referring to Google because it is the most popular search engine with, I believe, over 60% of search queries completed on it. Now, you also need to be found for your keywords. And what I want to be found for is LinkedIn specialist. Now, I cannot compete against a Google ad, but my LinkedIn profile comes up first here in Melbourne, and then my website comes up on the first page of Google search results. Now that's a combination of not only what I'm going to show you today, but also my online activity, the other content I've had published, etc., etc. But ideally, that's what you'd want to happen for you. Now, I also created a business called 120 Ways Publishing. So if you Google that, you can see that, again, everything that comes up on the first page of search results is something that I have created. And over here on the right is, again, my Google My Business profile. So what we need to do to fill in the personal info section on your Google account, so if you have a Gmail email address, you already have a Google account. So you will go to myaccount.google.com. You can also type in aboutme.google.com and it will bring you right here. But if you go to myaccount.google.com and click on personal info, then you will come directly to this screen. Now that's not my real date of birth, that's a fictitious one I use with my online profiles. But what you can see here is this About Me section. And what we're going to be doing is filling in this component. Now, I've got another profile that I've already entered this in, but for the purpose of this video, I will show you how to fill it in. And I'm not going to put all of my links in because that will take way too long, but I want to show you how to do it. So here you can see that there are three sections for links: a link, a profile link, and a contributor link. Now, you need to prepare this information before you copy paste it into these three fields. So the big question is, how do you find all the links to add in here? So this is the spreadsheet that I've prepared, and I'll put the link in the description box below as to how you can access this file. And what I'm going to demonstrate is where you find all the links. So you can look on Google, News, all of these. I'll go through all of those. And you want to be found for your name and your company name if you work for an organization or you're a founder, your name and your publisher name if you've been published in particular publications. Perhaps you're a journalist or a writer or a freelancer in some way. Also the name of your company and any other topic words. And also I had to do some work for a client of mine who was very, very popular with journalists, and then one day, unfortunately, it went bankrupt, and then found that they were showing all their bad publicity articles were showing up. So what I did for that particular person was I went through and found all their negative links. So if you're in that situation, you can pop your negative links on a separate worksheet here. You can see I don't have any that I know of, but the benefit of doing that is that you at least have a record of them, you know what you're competing against. But what we want Google to find are the good links. So that's why we're going to tell them links, profile links, and contributor links. And because YouTube is owned by Google, I'm also going to suggest that you create a list of videos where you are on YouTube, whether they're on your channel or someone else's channel. So I've just put 5 in here. 4 of those are on my own Sue Elson YouTube channel, and one of them is on the Swinburne Student Union YouTube channel, and you can prepare a list of those as well. Then you can add them to a playlist so that if anybody is Googling you or searching for you on YouTube, then they can see a list of all your videos rather than just the videos that are on your channel. So how do we find all these profile links, contributor links, and just general links? So where do we look?
The first place is just to go to Google, and I've put google.com.au because I'm in Australia, but google.com anywhere else, or .co.uk if you're in the UK. And so you just Google yourself. So what I can see is I can copy paste that link, and put them in the relevant components of this spreadsheet. So whether I want it to be a link, a profile link, or a contributor link. So that's the first range of places that I can look. Now, the next thing is, if you want to be found for your particular keywords, if there's any other links that you're found for there, you can try those. Any that are found in your business name, again, you can go through and copy paste or visit these links and decide whether there's something you want to keep or whether they're going to be in that negative links pile. So again, if we go back to the spreadsheet, the next place we can look in is Google News. So when you do that first search on your name, you'll see up the top here that there are different categories of search. So the idea here is you go to News, and then you can see I've been in the Daily Mail several times. I was on the 3AW, ABC, Daily Mail, and then you can put all of those links into your spreadsheet. Now, because they're mostly articles where you've been published, and you need to check that you're actually in them. Sometimes there's another name that's not you, but you can just check that, of course. But then you can start writing them in as contributor links. So here I've got a section called publications. So if they're just once-off thing, then you can add them in. Or if you think it's a really major article, you can put them sort of top of your list, and you can say the date they were published, whether there's a paywall that people need to go through to see it, the title of the article, the name of the publication, your name or the author's name, depending if it's somebody else, the link. And then what I also suggest is you copy paste this link to archive.org/web. So this provides a permanent copy on the internet of that article. So I have a WordPress website which allows me to actually identify when a link's broken. So let's say Tiny Buddha takes that article offline. What it will do is it will let me know, and it will provide the link to the archive.org version, the most recent version thereof. So then what I can do is I can fix any broken links on my website and have those listed. So we're up to the second stage of where to look. The next one is under images. So sometimes an image is indexed even though the article isn't. So again, if we go back to the top of the screen and we were just searching with my name, we can look under images. Now, if my name was Sue Smith, it would be a lot more difficult, but my name is reasonably unique. But you can see here I'm on her business website, Spectrum Analysis website. You can see lots of other websites where I am that I might not think of to look on for where I am online. So that's another place that you can find links. The next place we're going to look at is under videos. So this is a Google search for videos. It's not a YouTube search, it's just a video search. And so again, you can see I've got lots of videos. Even my Facebook video is there, my YouTube videos, pages of my website where I've linked a video, etc., etc. So that's another place where you can find links to your content on the internet. And the issue is when the Google search robot goes looking for your information, it doesn't necessarily join all these dots together. And you want to tell Google the links that are most important. So we've done the first 4. Now the next one is a really, really interesting one, the Google Advanced Search. This is also good if you want to check out a website like LinkedIn and you've run out of searches. But if we go to the Google Advanced Search, so what will happen here is I'll just go back to my query. So this is the Google Advanced Search screen, google.com/advanced_search. And you can put whatever words you want to be found for. So I've put my name in quotation marks. And because I was published on the ABC website, I've listed that ABC website. So when we complete the search, it shows you 10 years apart, more or less, I've had 2 articles published on the ABC website. Now, if I went to the ABC website, I may not find those articles. So sometimes it's a good idea to do this Google Advanced Search as well as going to that particular publication's website and looking for articles by you. Now, again, if you have a common name, it can be tricky. So you might want to go back to that search and add in another word. So most of the time when I am quoted as a LinkedIn specialist, and then you can try doing that as a search. Now, obviously, nothing's coming up on the ABC website with the word LinkedIn specialist, so they haven't referred to me that way. But I want you to just get the idea of how you can differentiate yourself if you've got a particular vocation or interest that is relevant. So the next one we're going to look at is Google Scholar. So we'll just copy paste this link in here and go back to the internet. And again, you can look on the Google Scholar website and see if you have been quoted. So I'll just put my name in again. And there's my book that was profiled on that website, and that's actually not me. But anyway, you can see there more opportunities for results, particularly if you're an academic. That's a really good one to use. Now, I also have written LinkedIn articles. So I have a page on LinkedIn which has all my articles. So if you haven't put them in your list, your URL in here, mine's already been changed to just Sue Elson because I updated my LinkedIn URL. And so this will show you all my recent articles. But if you want to do this another way, you can just click on your LinkedIn profile. And as you scroll down, it will say see all activity. And there it will show your articles as well. So if you can't remember that link or you don't know what your URL is, you can just scroll down where it says show all activity, and then you can click on articles. So that's the other way to get to it. Now, if you haven't already, I don't know why my photo has disappeared. It was there earlier today. If you don't know how to change your URL, so you can see up here, mine's already Sue Elson. You can go over here and choose edit public profile and URL. And then that pen there is where you can change it. That will also optimize you in Google search results. So you can keep that in mind as well. So the next one is on YouTube. So let's go and look on YouTube and see what's over there. Now, what you're going to notice when we do this search on YouTube is that my channel comes up as well as my playlist. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. We'll try and make the search work. So there is my channel and there is my playlist. So you can see on my channel, I've only got 62 videos, but on my playlist, I have 138 videos. So that's a way of amalgamating all the information on my name. And that's the reason you want to go searching YouTube for any links that you have there. Okay, so the next one is any particular publications. Now, one of my clients has been a regular journalist for the Herald Sun, so a lot of the articles that he has written are under a paywall, so I can't search for them because I'm not a subscriber to the Herald Sun newspaper. But if you are, you can log in and you can check all your links. Now, I realize it's behind a paywall, and that's why on the contributor links page, I've put that. So in other words, you can't see the full article unless you're signed in as a paid up person. But anyway, it's nice to know whether there's a paywall or not. So fortunately, all of these articles, there are no paywalls. So it means that anybody can look at it at any time. The next one is any magazines or journals that you have had publications in, any podcasts, radio programs, or other broadcast media. Remembering, of course, that you can only link to it, you cannot reproduce it on your website, because as soon as content is being published by somebody else, it belongs to them. The next one is journalist depositories. Now, there's a website called muckrack.com, which is designed specifically for journalists and enables you to put your profile on there, and then they try and match up content that you've published in mainstream media. Authory is something similar, except that you describe which publications you write for, you pay a monthly fee, and then it automatically adds your content to the Authory profile. What I don't like about that is you do have to pay to be subscribed to it, but if some of you are regular journalists and you don't want to keep a record, that's the way to do it. Obviously, what you could also do as part of this whole management process is you could subscribe to something called Google Alerts, and you can set those up for your name so that you can see all future content as well. So we'll just add that in. This is what happens when you start preparing training. You think of additional ideas. So that's a good way to be notified when you are published. So if you're quoted by journalists and they don't get back to you with a link to the piece, then hopefully the Google Alert will let you know when you've been quoted, and you can then add that to your list. And also any other websites where you may have been quoted, and particularly websites with something that's called a high domain authority. So that means that they are highly ranked, they're highly well known, they've been around a long time perhaps, they've got a lot of engagement, they're popular, they have great social media profiles, whatever it is. And then again, you can add them to your list. Now, the types of search queries, and I've put them in quotation marks so that the words appear together, are your name and your company name, your name and the publisher name, if it's a particular publisher or a particular journalist that you've cooperated with, your company and a topic, if you're known for that, any other topics, people, events that you remember being involved in. And as I said before, look at websites and search within those websites, like I suggested with that Herald Sun a minute ago. And of course, if you on your search find those bad links, pop them in the negative links folder so you can go back and see how you go. Now, the interesting thing is with that client who went bankrupt, once I completed this process and put all of their links into their Google profile, those negative links kept dropping down because people started clicking on the positive links, and then those bad links ended up on page 2 of Google search results. And there's a bit of a joke in the Google world: where do you hide a dead body? On page 2 of Google search results, because nobody looks there except if there's some due diligence being going on. But as a general rule, you're a lot safer if those bad links are on page 2 than if they are on page 1. So let's have a look at some of the links I found, and I would suggest at the bare minimum that you would want to add to your Google account. So I've obviously got my own website, and I've also got a free Google website. So what I like to do is write down the date that I've compiled this, or that they were originally published, whatever the case may be, and pop the link in, which I always copy paste. I never manually type. And then I copy paste that link to archive.org. And then when I get the link back, I paste the link in there. So that's a reminder to me that I have actually indexed it on archive.org so that there will always be a permanent record on the internet. Now, some websites, when they're published, block the ability for archive.org to view it. And you will notice that here on my LinkedIn, it says, there's an authority wall and it's not going to provide the link. But you can see I've still attempted to do that archive.org link. So here on my profile links page, a government link on a government website is gold. So you definitely want to think about adding any government links. One of my clients was listed as a supplier on the Australian Trade website, which is a fabulously gold level link. So any government or really high profile websites where you've got a link, fantastic. That's one that you really want to make sure is there. Then obviously you want to link to all your social media. Now, I am on other social media, not a doubt in the world. These were just old updated then. But I haven't included them here. I'm just talking about the main ones I want to have on my Google account, and then any memberships you have. So as a result of being a member of these two professional associations, I have a profile page. So if you have that luxury of a profile page, please make sure that you keep it up to date. And again, copy paste it into archive.org. Now, here on contributor links, I am a contributor to a variety of websites. So my articles on LinkedIn are on that link. My articles on Medium are on that link. So these are all profile links on websites that distribute content. So I've chosen to group them together. And then I've decided to highlight a couple of my major articles because ABC News, the Daily Mail, Tiny Buddha, these are reputable websites. So I put them up the top. But then a list of all my publications I've started compiling down here. So let's just show you how to do this. So what I'm going to do is show you my Google About Me profile, and we'll look at this About section, add more about you, and we'll add a link. So the first one, the link is called that. We go back to the spreadsheet, we copy paste again, and it's as easy as that. So that's the first website link done. And you want to make sure that it says anyone. So then the next one I want to add, we go back to the spreadsheet, is who else in the Google website. So you can see how easy it is once you've got your list to enter these details in. And it's really important that you always copy paste with links, because otherwise it could go to the wrong spot. So that's the links one done. So now what we want to do is we want to start adding in profile link. So let's go to the first link on my profile link one, which is the Australian Business Number Register, the government one. So we'll copy that. And that definitely adds to my credibility. And it is one that will sometimes appear. And then we'll add another one. I'm not going to do all of these, but I just want to show you how easy it is to do once you have compiled your list. Now, the reality is Google could change at any time. And what is working today could be different in the future. They might delete this section. We don't know. But this is why I love having my own spreadsheet. So I can always go back in here. I can also run a check on whether or not these websites work. So let's go into the last section. I won't do them all, as I said, but I just want to give you an example. So this time we'll add in a contributor link. So we'll go back to the contributor links page, and let's put this major article in. So we'll copy the title, and then we'll put in the URL. Oh, in fact, it would have probably been better if I did one of those, actually. No, let's change that. So we'll say this one again. We might as well do it in the order I put them in the spreadsheet. And then that link. And again, making sure it says anyone. So now what happens is when you visit your About Me profile, myaccount.google.com/profile, you can see I've got a section for links, profile links, and contributor links. So you would just keep adding in all the good ones, and this helps Google know where you are online. So if you have found this video helpful, I strongly recommend that you look in the description box below and you go through the other links, maybe download this spreadsheet so that you can use it for your own content as well, remembering that there are multiple places to look to find all your content. You then want to sort it into links, profile links, contributor links, YouTube, and then also if you want to keep a record of those negative links, you can do that as well. You can't always get other content removed, so sorry about that. Now, the final thing I'd like to show you is my Sue Elson website. So what you can see, this is a website just about me, and I have got a list of all of my publications that I've ever known about that have been published, listed in reverse date order. So the most recent one is first. So this means that when the Google robot comes in and looks at my website, it can actually see the crazy number, and boy, oh boy, is this a long list, of articles and recordings and whatever else that I've had published right back to 2000. And so that's a nice long list of, 22 years of content. So I've got the publications page. I also have the videos page where I put all those videos that are about me, because I know that video content is a lot more popular nowadays. So you could definitely consider doing that as well, because this is a support to that Google backend. Now, this could also be helpful for other search engines. So if you're not using Google, maybe you're using Microsoft Edge or one of the other DuckDuckGo search engines. that means that when those search engine robots visit your website, they can find all this other stuff that you've had published online. I've got my podcast audio and radio, so some people prefer audio just to listen, so they can check those out. And some people put in under their About section a reciprocal links page. So look, it's entirely up to you where you publish this, whether you bury it deep on your website or whether you have it like a really big feature like I have on mine. That's entirely up to you. You can see I also put my newsletters that I started publishing this year on there. I've also separated my poems content out separately from my professional work related to LinkedIn, careers and business. You can see I've got a page for my books. So I'm always trying to tell search engine robots where I am online, and I'm always updating that. So unlike what happens in a lot of enterprises where, for instance, the social media department is different to the website department, I definitely recommend that you have your knowledge and expertise across both your website and your social media and your internet presence, because at the end of the day, what we're really trying to help you achieve is to increase your online presence, your quality of your reputation, your brand, whatever that means nowadays, and your overall search engine optimization of your content and what you would like to be found for online. So thank you for joining me. I welcome any quick questions, and by all means, as I said, look in the description link below and I'll provide the link to this spreadsheet so that you too can do this process and start letting the Google search engine know where you are, but also for your own record, keep a list of where you have been published and before you lose it, because let's face it, content doesn't stay on the internet forever. So it's a really good idea to be able to collect that archive.org link so that if ever the website disappears or the piece of content disappears, there's always a written record or a digital record that you had that item published. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.